Hello, dear Chancellor, or perhaps I should call you Rishi, since you seem to have taken to doing interviews with magazines like Glamour recently, and that's more informal. Anyway, whatever is appropriate. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Ellie. I'm 67. Due to changes in the pension age and my circumstances, I will be working until I'm 82, not from choice, but because I have to. Now, in 2018-19, I worked part-time, and I was self-employed part-time. That temporary job ended in February 2019, and then I went completely self-employed. I am, therefore, one of the 2.9 million excluded, because support is based on tax returns for 2018-19. Now, Rishi, that is nearly 2 years ago, and like many, we have no money. We're selling things because we can't exist, and it's cold, it's winter. So like so many of those excluded, what I was doing and what we were all doing in 2018-19 doesn't reflect our circumstances even 6 months later, let alone a year later, or now. And the same applies to so many freelancers and to company directors. Surely I don't need to tell you, you know how many people become self-employed or go freelance or set up limited companies, businesses every year. You have those figures. I don't need to tell you your job. Very many are sole traders, and many others are advised to form a limited company. And please can I assure you that being company director does not automatically translate as wealthy. There are many freelancers, some of whom have PAYE contracts, but they're short-term or they're based on a piece of work, and they're simply let go when there is no work. They don't qualify for furlough, and we don't qualify for self-employed support. You know that starting a business takes time. The first year or the second year is quite rarely profitable. Entrepreneurs largely get by, as do freelancers building their reputations. So we don't all have a war chest of savings that we can rely on. And any who have had savings have long since used them. Not on luxuries. We've used them to live, to feed families, to keep roofs over our heads. And then they're gone. All of us know very well the rules of support. And believe me, we fall through every crack. Last week, another 2 members of Excluded UK took their own lives, unable to perhaps feed families, to provide an income, or simply to keep a home. That is a terrible toll, and it's being exacted upon your people as a government just because they do not fit based on historic figures or because of the way their jobs are set up. I know, as I said, this isn't about me. I am just one example of thousands upon thousands who have become suicidal, depressed, desperate by neglect that's visited upon them, and which we do not deserve. Really, we do not. Now, even so, when I turn on the TV, I hear you explaining that either we're earning over £200,000 a year, or we're earning more from employment than self-employment. Things like this. Surely you don't actually believe this, do you? You can't do. And it is so disingenuous to infer that everybody who actually needed help received it, because we haven't. There are millions of us out here suffering. Now, we're just ordinary people. You, on the other hand, you have power. And in this case, you have the power to assist us or to break us. And considering some of the other costs incurred in this pandemic, and we all know what they are, I won't detail those. Help for us would cost really, really little by comparison. It would be relatively small. And I'm simply begging you to act before it is too late for even more people who are suffering, and before the death toll continues to rise. Not from COVID, but from exclusion. Because what we're suffering from is death by exclusion. It's as simple as that. I'm Ellie. You can reach me on Facebook or through Excluded UK at any time. Thank you for listening.